Hi and welcome back to PvP Talk. It's been a while since I made this type of videos, but it's finally here. And today we're gonna talk about one of the most broken doodle. You all know this thing. It's been tearing PvP even after it got nerfed. So most of you know what I'm about to talk about, but if you're a casual player that doesn't do any PvP and has barely any info about the PvP meta right now, I'm talking about Bungo. Yes, this silly cat creature is too strong. But before I rant about this creature, let me explain its general information about it. Bungo is a pure poison type doodle that has an interesting trait called Split. Now, the defenses of Bungo is kind of questionable. It has a very big health, but barely any defenses. But it makes up for it for the ability that I just mentioned, the ability Split. How Split works is that every time Bungo's health reached 0, it doesn't die, but it shrunk into a smaller size while keeping its offensive stat to a normal, but shrinking its HP in the process too. And Bungo can do this 3 times before it dies, but it also, when it dies in its final form, the tiny form, it also explodes, dealing damage to any doodle on the field. Now that you know how Bungo's split traits work, let's get into the stats. Now, Bungo just got a nerf like before Season 5 even starts. What it got is that it lost some of its HP and some of its offensive stat, but it still works like Bungo. So right now it has like a very high HP and I think 95 on both attacks, so it can use both attacking stats to deal damage. Now on the second form, the stat also decreases from 95 to 80 on both attack stats, while also the HP being lowered to 90 or 95, and also goes down even smaller on the final stage, aka the tiny stage. But what's weird about the tiny stage is that it has the highest attack stats on both sides. I guess it fits the theme of your last life, so you deal more damage. So yeah, I can't really complain about that. But what I can really complain about is the fact that it has lots of coverage options. Like, look at this. You're telling me this cat can hit pretty much anything that threatens it, like Malzuri, any earth types, and any metal types that walls it. And you also give it reverse singularity when it has the lowest speed stat. Like, I don't know why we should make this type of doodle. My best assumption for this is that right now it's the cat battle pass and he wants to make the cat team legendary good, but I think he made a bit too good. Like, you can really hit everything that walls you and threatens you, and you have 3 lives to do something, like set up reverse singularity for your team, or do damage to a doodle, or even set up lingering poison, or set up with enlightenment. So I can just rant a lot about this doodle. I can just go on and rant about this, but I'm gonna stop and ask my friend Corrupted Days to do it instead, which I kindly asked him to do. So yeah, you'll be taking this part for now.
Hi, I'm Corrupted, Luigi's best pal. So we all know how much of an annoyance Bungo is. But what makes it so good? The main reason is simple. It acts like 3 doodles instead of 1, with it still having amazing stats even when its ability split activates. And pair it with its insane coverage, options to hit literally everything, is just a recipe for disaster. It can also use enlightenment to boost its magical attacks and defense, making it an unstoppable late-game threat. Even something like Malzuri, one of the best Bungo counters, is not even safe from Bungo. Because Bungo players realize they can just use Soul Siphon and Enlightenment to just make Malzuri a setup fodder. I think that's all I have to say about Bungo. Now if you excuse me, I need to get out from Luigi's basement.
Well, that break lasts Shorter than I expected. So from our 5 minutes of rant and rambling and yapping, what do we have to say about Bungo? It's too strong, it's stupid, its 3 lives mechanic turns a match from a 6 versus 6 into a 6 versus 9. It has reverse singularity, which can control a match speed to its favor. It also has enlightenment to set up on something Malzuri. It also has lingering poison to be even more annoying to deal with. And to top it all off, it can damage your Doodle when it dies. So yeah. Now I want to propose a rework on the split ability. How about let's make it that every time Bungo dies, it gets a debuff where it loses 2 stages on both offenses, making it can't stay really long when it loses a form. So in that way, the opponent can have a breathing room on what to do against it. Or you can make it that split removes all of your stat boosts. So Enlightenment set Bungo needs to stay alive and not loses any form in order to make the Enlightenment set work. Or if you don't want to rework the trait, why don't we remove some of its coverage, making it still Bungo, but a little bit more manageable for counters to play around it. Like, it has Soul Siphon, which completely breaks Malzuri most of the time, and Malzuri only switches into Tsunami, Blue Blast, and Fireball from Bungos. And yeah, I think that's all for today's video. And like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next PvP Talk.